Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'm thrilled to be with you. Makes me really happy to think back to Fern Hill. When I was at Fern Hill, it was first grade to sixth grade. There was no kindergarten there. And it was much smaller. The school was smaller than it is now, but it's the same cafeteria. Spruced up a little bit over the years, but it's the same cafeteria. And my principal was Mr. Morgan. And you have a playground that was dedicated for Mr. Morgan. It's the Mr. Morgan playground. And I was there for the dedication when that playground was new. So Fern Hill is very close to my heart. So do you guys, do you have any questions for me today as your senator? I would be happy to hear your questions and talk about whatever you want to talk about. Okay, Rashna, would you like to start? Oh, that's so great. You are really so prepared, both of you, and raising your hands, and you've got the Zoom hands raised. Yeah. I often forget to do the Zoom hand, but there's also this. So Rashna, why don't you start today?
So my first question is, what does the Senate do?
Well, the Senate listens to the people of Pennsylvania. All the senators, including me, are listening to the students like Rashna and Zoe, your parents, business owners, and everyone we represent to find out what are some things that we could do better in Pennsylvania to make people's schools better, to take better care of our health, take better care of our pets, our parks, our communities. And so we take the things that we learn from talking with everyone, like I'm talking with you today, and we say, let's see if we can write a bill that we can vote on in the Senate and the House of Representatives. Both chambers have to agree on any bill. And then we turn it into a law that will make people's lives better in Pennsylvania. So our job is to listen to the people, to bring people together to talk about whatever the issue is. We need to build a new school in the Westchester School District, and maybe they need some state funding, some money to help build the school. Well, let's talk with the people, bring everybody together and see what we can do to help our local community and to help people around Pennsylvania. So that's what we do. And we write bills and we pass bills, and then they become new laws. And we just do that week after week, month after month, and year after year, because new concerns come up, new needs come up. We learn new things from listening to our constituents. And not all of the bills are passed and turned into law, but our job is to move forward the best bills that we possibly can to help improve people's lives.
Okay. My next question is, what is it like to work in House of Representatives?
Well, in the House of Representatives, and you may know that I served 2 terms in the House of Representatives, which was 2 two-year terms. So how many years did I serve in the Pennsylvania House? 2 years. 4 years, very good. 4 years in the Pennsylvania House of Representatives. And there are 203 members of the House of Representatives. So I was one of 203 representatives representing the Westchester area. And now I'm one of 50 senators. So I represent a larger area here in Chester County, still the Westchester area, but further away from Westchester as well. Phoenixville, Downingtown, Coatesville, Southern Chester County, Octorara area where I taught many years ago. So being in the House of Representatives was, very similar in terms of listening to the people and then creating bills that may be voted into law to help improve people's lives. But what we also do in the Pennsylvania House and also in the Senate is we work in our local districts to help people find solutions to problems. Maybe there's a park, for example, across from my house, Everhart Park, and everybody wanted to have a new playground area for all the children. Have you ever been to Everhart Park?
No.
No. Okay. Have you been there, Zoe? No. Well, it's a very nice park in the borough of Westchester, but we needed new playground equipment. So one of the things that a representative and a senator can do is help bring people together to decide what new playground equipment would be good. And in this case, we got the students from Hillsdale Elementary School to help design the new playground, and it's going to be wonderful. And then I, as a representative and senator, can help see if there's some funding at the state that we can help use to buy the equipment and build the park. But there's 4 times more people in the House of Representatives than there are in the Senate. So it's a bigger room, bigger chamber in the Capitol, and there are more people. But we still do very much the same kind of work in the House and in the Senate. So shall we ask Zoe to ask a couple of questions, and then we can come back to Rashna?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's do that. We'll go back and forth. Zoe, what's on your mind?
So, the first question is, what can we do to help about littering and saving the environment from the littering?
Yes, that is so very important. When I was your age, there was a saying that came that was new, and it said, "Don't be a litter bug." Did you ever hear of that one? Don't be a litter bug. Well, that was when I was your age. We were just learning about the problems of littering. And we learned that every person can help solve the problem by, number one, not throwing trash on the ground in the first place, right? We're going to put it in a trash can. And then number two, if we see trash on the ground, we can carefully pick some up and put it in a trash can. And sometimes people have trash pickup days, cleanup days in their neighborhoods. Have you ever done one of those, Zoe? Sometimes people will, around Earth Day, which we just had 2 weeks ago, one of the projects that a neighborhood might do or a park group might do is to set up a time, maybe a Saturday morning, and everyone goes to the park or along the streets in your neighborhood or maybe around your school property. And, everybody brings a bag to put trash in, and we carefully pick up trash. And then also, I think learning about recycling is really important as far as reducing litter, because instead of throwing something away, For example, a newspaper, we can recycle it, and certain kinds of plastics and glass. So, but if, that's something that you can do around your own house, in your neighborhood. You have to be very careful if you're picking up trash along the street. You need to go with your parents or with a grown-up because of the traffic. But do you have any other ideas, Zoe, about picking up trash and reducing littering?
Well, I like creating projects sometimes with old things that we used already, and they're empty.
Yes.
And I love doing things with it.
So you just said the three things, right? Well, reduce, one of the things we're saying about, don't buy as many things, right? So that we don't have to, get rid of them at some point. So reduce, reuse, you just said reusing something in a project to make something new, and then recycling. And that helps reduce the number of things that we need to throw away. And so those are very, very good ideas. Thank you for that. Do you have another question, Zoe, that you'd like to ask?
Yeah, so this one's about Black Lives Matter. Yeah. So is there a way to to help people understand why Black Lives Matter, so we can get more people to understand and maybe someday create a bill and have a lot of people vote on it, and then it becomes a law to have equal rights for people who aren't the same as us?
Yes. Well, there are laws that that already protect and say that we are all equal and we all must be treated equally. In fact, the preamble to our Constitution says we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And then it goes on from there. So that is really part of the foundation of our country, right? This is not a new idea that Black lives matter, brown lives matter, and all people matter. So, but racism has unfortunately been something that has been a part of our American culture, even though it's not supposed to be. And we keep trying to talk about how to reduce the systemic racism and actually fulfill the laws and the spirit of our country, in that all people, men, women, children, everyone is created equal. So, but I think, Zoe, that one of the things that that we can do is making friends with people and learning about though in those friendships, how important each person is and how much each person contributes to our communities, our schools, and so on. So I think building relationships and friendships is one of the best things that we can do, getting to know each other. And then sometimes we do need to pass additional laws. And so those are important things to do as well. And we're working on some of those in Pennsylvania right now. But I think it starts first thing with friendships that you make in your neighborhood, in your schools, and so on. And then just reminding people, you know, that our country was based on the belief that all people are created equal and should be treated equally and have equal opportunities. So that's where we started in 1776. Here we are today in 2021, and we're still working hard to make that dream a reality. So thank you for asking that. Do you have any ideas on how we might do that?
Oops, I just muted. I think that, like you said, if we start getting to know each other more and we kind of, before we start like hurting someone or like calling them names or whatever we're going to do, before we do that, we need to get to know them. And that's just like the mainly important part.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the important part. Thank you. Thank you, Zoe. So Rashna, do you have more questions? Do you have something you'd like me to know?
I just have one more question.
Okay.
So that's, what have you done to help the state throughout the pandemic?
Well, I and my Senate district office staff and my Harrisburg staff have been working really hard to, again, listen to the people. People will call us on the telephone, send us an email and say, can you please help me? And so this is what my district office does. We have been here to help people during the pandemic and really all the time. But during the pandemic, people have had some very special needs. Some people lost their jobs. They were laid off because the business had closed. So we helped people with unemployment questions and helped them get the unemployment checks, some money that would help them be able to live and pay their bills during the pandemic. We had people with questions about the vaccine. Where do not too long ago, it was very difficult to find a place where you could get the vaccine. Now we have enough. And so it's not difficult to find a vaccine and a place and an appointment to get the vaccine. But we helped a lot of people find a place to get their vaccination for against COVID-19. We also helped the schools and a lot of students. Some students needed laptops and internet connection and so on. So we worked to help the schools with that. Some people needed help with food. So we, worked to help connect people with food banks in Chester County. And so there were many, many things that we could do. Some people, we're also very helpful calling us and saying, hey, we can help you help our neighbors. So we would help. We really appreciated all of the kind things that everyone did to help each other. But that's what I do. That's what I and my my district office team, our staff does, is we help people. Sometimes we, people will call us and ask for a question regarding the pandemic. Sometimes people call and ask us a question about a driver's license or a birth certificate or a tax question. And so we are here to help people, whether in this case, we had a global pandemic that added a lot of needs to people's everyday lives. But we still are here helping people during the pandemic as things change and needs change. And we will be here beyond the pandemic to help however we can as well. So please remind people and remember yourself, if you ever have a question, you know, even if you have a lost pet and you're not sure what to do, for example, you could call your state senator, your state representatives, you could call me and say, I don't know what to do. I lost my dog, and you know, what should we do? And we will help connect you with the people who can help you with that as well. Or there's I gave an example of a park or littering or improving a park. You have an idea, call your state senator. I want to know what you're thinking. And if you have a good idea, maybe we can work on it together and improve our neighborhoods and our community. So is there anything else, Rashna, that you wanted to let me know?
Well, actually, going back to that example of a lost dog, I actually saw a lost pet poster on the stop sign outside of my neighborhood.
That lets you know. Was there a picture of the dog?
Yeah, but yeah. I couldn't exactly see it.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes the weather, you know, and weather, yeah, I know. Yeah. So, but that is one way that people will let their neighbors know that they've lost a dog or a cat, for example, and they'll put a picture of the pet. And that, you know, alerts people. And if they happen to see a dog or a cat walking around by itself, they might say, hey, I read that on the saw that poster on the sign. But if someone wants other help or additional help, they could also call our office, and we would do whatever we could to help. Yeah. So Zoe, is there anything else on your mind today? Anything that you would like me to know? As I go back to my work in Harrisburg. And I did want to ask you, I mean, usually in 4th grade, you would be coming to the Pennsylvania Capitol, right? Yes. And when I was in 4th grade at Fern Hill, we also went to the Pennsylvania Capitol, which is very beautiful. And behind me, the virtual background that I have from my Zoom is the rotunda in the Pennsylvania Capitol. And it's just absolutely beautiful. Have you ever been there, Zoe? No. Have you ever been there, Rashna, to the Pennsylvania Capitol in Harrisburg?
No, but we actually, my class, recently we took a virtual field trip there.
Oh, terrific. That's wonderful. Oh, that's great. So you got to see all of the beautiful artwork and the architecture. You saw the House chamber, the Senate chamber, the Supreme Court. It's a very, very beautiful. It's called the People's House. As I was saying, when you said, what is your job as a senator? And the first thing I said was to listen to the people, right? So I can learn what are the things that we need to do to help people. And so I want to tell you, if you are able sometime to come to Harrisburg and come to the Pennsylvania Capitol, I hope you will let me know that you're coming, and I will make sure that I greet you there. So, and I can show you my office and give you a little bit of a tour. So that would make me very, very happy. And then we would have Fern Hill in the house, more than one Fern Hill alum in the house. So anything else I should know about Fern Hill? Have you been, Rashna, have you also been virtual, or are you back in person now?
I'm 5 days a week.
You're 5 days a week back in person? How does that feel? Of course, you were virtual for most of the school year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. How does it feel being back in person?
It feels nice. I get to see all my friends that go in school, and I get to talk with them at recess and when we're having snack, and we can have like mass breaks and stuff.
That's wonderful. That I'm very happy for you. And Zoe, you've been doing cyber school. I mean, everyone was doing cyber school, right? And but you're going to continue with cyber school for the rest of this. Oh, you've got a background at the Capitol, Rashna. Oh, that's beautiful. Very nice. That is, I think I'm going to see if I can get one of the outside, especially on these beautiful spring days. Thank you for reminding me of that. But Zoe, tell me, what is it like for you continuing for the whole year in a cyber school?
It's really fun. This year I actually had my first male teacher, which is really cool.
Yeah.
His wife had a baby in March.
Oh, did you get to see the baby?
Not yet, but we've got, like, not on the Zoom, but we've got to see lots of pictures of her. And I was really lucky because I ended up with a bunch of my Fern Hill friends in my cyber class that also went cyber, so it was really cool.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's just great. Well, it was a very unusual year for you guys, right? Living through going to school during a global pandemic. And just imagine, I mean, very difficult in a lot of ways, very interesting and new things you would have never done, right? Had there not been a pandemic. And you know, and I hope that that you and your families are able to think back on all the good things. And I hope that you were able to be safe and healthy during the pandemic as well. Zoe, it looks like you have something else on your mind.
Yeah, so there's something I wanted to share. And I also had one other quick question. Mm-hmm. What do you want me to do first? I don't care.
Which you decide.
Okay, let's do my question first. So I was wondering, when we are safe, because like we know all about how to stay safe from the pandemic, but I was wondering, how can we help other people who aren't aware how to stop the spread of COVID-19? Like, how can we help them know how to?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that your schools are doing a good job of teaching the students and also sharing information with parents. And our County Department of Health with emails, with newspaper articles, television stories. You know, there's a lot of information out there for people. So I think we just need to keep reminding people, because everyone is busy. You're busy doing school. Parents are busy helping their children in school and also working and so on. So I think that we just need to keep repeating and teaching and educating people so they have a chance to hear the information they need about keeping themselves healthy and safe. And we're going to just need to keep repeating that information in all the different areas that I mentioned. Keep doing that for a while. Yeah. Rashna, did you have anything else that you wanted to share? I think, unfortunately, our time is almost up. I enjoyed so much being with you guys. Again, go Bobcats. And do you know what your mascot will be at Greystone? Do you know? No. Well, you'll have to let me know, and I will come visit you at Greystone. Well, hopefully I get to visit the fourth graders for their Pennsylvania Day. You'll be in fifth grade then. First class to graduate, which will be so exciting. So if you see me, yes, if you see me in the hall, or if there's something special going on in school, please invite me, and I will try and be there. So thank you, Rashna. Thank you, Zoe. I loved being with you, and I will look forward to seeing you at Greystone next year. And I will always remember that we are Fern Hill alums together. So take good care. Enjoy the rest of the school year. Have a wonderful summer. And please reach out and let me know what I need to know so I can be the best senator I can be. And you can help me do that. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.